Hello, my name is Tim Miles. Those of you who saw me speak a couple of weeks ago at the Regional Governors Conference in Indiana, we're expecting about 10 more minutes of a presentation, but you laughed a lot. And so I'm a ham and got sucked up in it and didn't get a chance to finish. So I'm going to finish it for you now. I hope you don't mind, but I'm going to go ahead and post this publicly because I think it's some interesting information. It's part of a longer presentation or workshop that is available called Strategic Planning Made Simple. But in the afternoon keynote that you saw, Managing Change from the Inside Out, I sort of include the Cliff's Notes version of it in the last 10 minutes of that presentation. And that's what you're going to see here. And I thought it's the first of the year. People are trying to stick with their resolutions, trying to manage change, be agents of change. And really and truly, here's a simple way to do that. I say simple. The steps themselves are almost self-evident. You may think, well, duh, until you try to put them into action. What the people in Indiana saw, that if you're just seeing this now, whether it's on the blog or in your RSS feed or whatever, they saw the first 30 minutes of this, which helps teach you how to marshal the forces of those people in your organization who are usually most resistant to change, and how to get them to actually work for you, not just with you, but for you, to get things done that you see. You may go to a conference or convention, learn all these new ideas, get really excited, then you bring them back and people put their walls up and you meet resistance because people are afraid to change. So what I'm going to talk about here, the last 10 minutes of that, it's a condensation of another talk I give, also a workshop called Strategic Planning Made Simple. So that's what we're going to look at right now. This is for my friends up in Valparaiso, Indiana, and I hope you enjoy it as well. So if you recall, the last thing we saw in Indiana was sort of a call to action. We had talked about how to get everybody in your organization on board and how we're all different via our various personality types using the Myers-Briggs. We took that little sample and that was a lot of fun for everybody. But the one thing I wanted to leave you with was a call to action. Are you willing to pull the trigger? Are you prepared to quit holding meetings, forming committees, and talking to go and do something? Nothing changes until action is taken. Okay, how? I'm going to give you 5 simple steps. These were first brought to my attention in a simple form by my partner, Roy H. Williams, in one of his Monday morning memos. And I wrote to Roy after the memo came out to about 40,000 people. And I said, I think there's more here. With your permission, I would like to develop this into something more substantial. And he said, sure, cool, knock yourself out. Great idea. And so I've done that, and I've turned this into both a talk and a workshop. And we boil it down into 5 points. How to get things done, strategic planning made simple. First thing you've got to do is focus. What is it you're trying to make happen? I tell this to new clients. What is it specifically you're hiring me to help you do? Say it simply. Say it plainly. For those of you who were in Valparaiso and saw the Heath brothers little video that one of the brothers did about why most mission statements are so terrible, remember, use concrete language. If you can't say it in a sentence or two so that 10 out of 10 people understand what it is, you need to rethink what it is you're trying to make happen. In other words, how will you measure the success of whatever change it is you're trying to implement? How are you going to measure the success? At a basketball stadium, Mizzou played today here in town, and after somebody scores, everybody looks up at the scoreboard. Why? Because it's human nature for us to want to keep score. What's your scoreboard? How are you going to measure success of your initiative? Another way to think about it is, what's a happy ending? You're getting ready to start a project? Okay. It's at the end of the project. You're putting your feet up on your desk. You're popping a cork on a bottle of champagne. You're celebrating. Your whole organization is celebrating. What just happened? What was that triggering event that caused you to start to celebrate? Say it simply, say it plainly, make it concrete in your mind, then write it down. Number 2, evaluate. Look at the present. If we were talking about the future and what it was we were trying to make happen, now let's talk about the present. Why aren't you there yet? What's holding you back? In Wizard of Ads, we call that the limiting factor. Name the limiting factors. Again, it's important for you to use concrete language. Say it simply. Say it plainly. This is a great time if you're going to sit around it as an organization and ask. If you're a non-for-profit organization, ask some of your key volunteers, those who have been with you for years, not just senior staff, not just your board of directors. Ask volunteers what they've observed. They might provide you with some occasionally painful information and insight as to what's holding you back from the goals you're trying to accomplish. So we had focus, we had evaluate. Third, prioritize. Well, you want to do all of these things. You want to implement a social media campaign. You want to focus on major giving. Well, that's great. But what are you going to do first? You have to choose. Strategic planning and strategic doing are about picking something to do first. Two of your goals come into conflict. Which one bows the knee? Prioritize your objectives. Number 4, brainstorm. Here's a great opportunity to get people together. Actually, I could spend 60 minutes talking to you about ways to be more productive in brainstorming sessions. This isn't the time and place for that. You can simply go to Google and type in how to have a more effective brainstorming session. Some of it you can utilize the things we talked about in Valparaiso, understanding that our personalities are different, and introverts and extroverts process information at different speeds. And you can make them more useful if you understand those sorts of things, but that's not for today's exercise. Let's just talk right now about how can we nullify the limiting factors, these impediments we have in our way, the obstacles that are in the way. How can we dislodge them? What levers might we use? I really recommend looking outside your industry for solutions. Look outside your organization and outside your niche and see if that parallel problem might have existed in the auto industry, in the hospitality industry. Did hotels suffer the same problem that you have and they figured out a way to solve it? Well, what did they do? What were the defining characteristics of the tactics they used? Can you implement them? Another suggestion you might have is, what if money were no object? What if we had an unlimited budget? How would we accomplish this task then? From that, maybe you can peel back layers to find a more DIY approach to the same problem. And then finally, and most importantly, do stuff. You've had your plan. You've focused. You've evaluated. You've looked at ideas in great ways, and that all seems really exciting. Oftentimes, the least exciting part is actually doing the stuff there is to do. Here's the secret. Number 1, know where it is you want to go. Number 2, just start walking. And then it's important to end each day by reviewing your progress, and here's why. The older I get, I turned 40 in October, and the older I get, and the more I look at my children, the more I appreciate effort versus talent. Does that make sense? The more I appreciate a relentlessness. My son's taught me that with his struggles sometimes with communication over the first few years of his life and some of the difficulties that we've faced. So it helps to look back at the end of the day and celebrate together as an organization, and then privately, individually, the work you've done. Change is hard. If change was easy, if being successful was easy, everybody would be doing it. Most people aren't, especially now in the last couple of years since the economy sort of ducked its head in the sand. But people are still being successful all across the world and doing amazing things. And it's never been easier for champions of those amazing things to tell those stories, thanks to things like social media. And I got off track there a little bit, but it's just because I get so excited that when people actually start to do things, amazing changes can take place. It really is that simple. If at the end of the day, and you're tired and your energy's zapped, you found that you still haven't accomplished anything towards your goal, make one small step, any small step, before your head hits the pillow. Any small step. The magic is not in the size of your steps making great leaps and bounds, but in the relentlessness of them. But I will caution you, and this is important as we wrap up today. Remember me talking about Chris Brogan in the morning keynote and some of his blog posts? Well, he wrote this on August 10th of last year. What goes into making success happen? Work. Work with a little bit of preparation and a lot bit of follow through. You want to write a book? Schedule writing times. You want to get fit? Plan ahead and have healthy snacks in the house. Plan your sleep schedule and get up earlier in the morning to work out when your metabolism wants it more. You want to get rich? Spend less, earn more, and find ways to earn while you sleep. You want more attention? Blog, make videos, get out to events, go out and hungrily find the audience you need. Sharpen your pencil. Use the pencil. Follow through. Doesn't get much simpler than that. Thanks again for a little more of your time. I appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the talk in Valparaiso. I had a great time while I was there. And if you're just seeing this now and are interested in more, you can check out more at thedailyblur.com. I offer some talks on stuff to help people get things done a little easier, maybe do a little more with a little less. And we offer some workshops as well. So thanks again for your time and checking this video out. I really appreciate it.